On the pre-dawn morning of July 16th, 1945, an unprecedented moment unfolded on the windswept desert plains of New Mexico. At precisely 5:29 a.m., Mountain War Time, an assembly of scientists, military engineers, and observers held their collective breath. Before them stood a device known only as the gadget. When it detonated in a brilliant conflagration of light and sound, humanity crossed an irreversible threshold. This was the Trinity test, the first successful demonstration of nuclear fission unleashed as an explosive force. It marked the dawning of the atomic age. Today we examine the origins, execution, and profound consequences of Trinity, a pivotal event whose ramifications still echo through our world. The story begins in late 1938 when German chemists Otto Hahn and Fritz Strassmann discovered nuclear fission, the splitting of an atomic nucleus that released enormous energy. Physicists around the world quickly recognized the terrifying potential, a weapon of unimaginable destructive power. Among those sounding the alarm was Leo Szilard, a physicist who, along with colleagues, urged the United States to prepare for this new kind of warfare. By 1942, the U.S. government had committed vast scientific and industrial resources to the Manhattan Project. Under the military direction of Major General Leslie Groves and the scientific leadership of J. Robert Oppenheimer, this top-secret endeavor coordinated research across multiple sites: Oak Ridge, Hanford, and Los Alamos. Each facility played a critical role. Oak Ridge specialized in enriching uranium-235, Hanford produced plutonium-239, and Los Alamos became the hub for weapon design and assembly. By early 1945, two bomb designs had emerged. The simpler gun-type design, known as Little Boy, would fire one uranium mass into another. The more complex implosion design, called Fat Man, relied on precisely timed explosive lenses to compress a plutonium core to supercritical density. Because of its complexity, the implosion design could not be fully validated through theory alone. It required a full-scale test, a decisive proof of concept. For this, the remote Jornada del Muerto desert in southern New Mexico was chosen. The device tested at Trinity was the gadget. It was the culmination of years of meticulous research into plutonium metallurgy, explosive chemistry, and detonation physics. At its heart lay a plutonium-239 core, just over 6 kilograms in weight, encased within layers of uranium, steel, and shaped explosive charges. The assembled gadget stood nearly 10 feet tall and weighed approximately 5 tons. Unlike the bombs intended for combat, this device was heavily instrumented with sensors, cameras, and diagnostic tools, all designed to record data with exquisite precision, yet doomed to destruction in the blast itself. Isolation was paramount. The Alamogordo bombing and gunnery range, some 230 miles south of Los Alamos, offered a vast empty stage. Over weeks, crews built a 100-foot steel tower, laid roads, and dispersed instrumentation arrays over several kilometers. Safety protocols restricted personnel to reinforced concrete bunkers within a 10-kilometer radius, while military police controlled access further out. Meteorologists monitored wind, cloud cover, and humidity to ensure conditions minimized radioactive fallout hazards. By 2 a.m. on July 16th, with favorable weather confirmed, technicians completed their final checks. At 5 a.m., staff moved to observation points under a crescent moon, the desert silent but charged with anticipation. At exactly 5:29 a.m., Captain William Deke Parsons initiated the firing sequence. A nanosecond cascade ignited shaped explosive lenses, compressing the plutonium core. The gadget burst into an intense ultraviolet blaze, bleaching the steel tower white-hot in an instant. Temperatures exceeded 8,000 Kelvin, hotter than the sun's surface, vaporizing the core and casing. A massive fireball expanded to 200 meters in diameter, consuming sand and debris in a radiant inferno. Within milliseconds, the shockwave rippled outward supersonically, shattering cameras and rattling observers miles away. Pressure gauges recorded levels sufficient to demolish buildings. The classic mushroom cloud ascended to heights between 12,000 and 15,000 meters, its head expanding over a mile wide, shimmering with ionized gases and dust. Faint blue Cherenkov radiation glowed at its core, while a condensation ring marked the blast perimeter against the early sky. Thermal radiation scorched the surrounding desert, vaporizing vegetation and small wildlife within a mile radius. The heat fused sand into glassy green nodules, now known as trinitite, tangible relics of nuclear fire. Scientists had captured every detail with high-speed cameras, pressure transducers, seismic detectors, and radiochemical samplers. Their analyses confirmed a yield of approximately 20 kilotons of TNT, validating the implosion design that would soon be deployed in warfare. Among those witnessing the blast were some of the greatest minds of the era. Enrico Fermi, who famously estimated the blast's force by observing falling scraps of paper. Edward Teller, who foresaw thermonuclear weapons. And Oppenheimer, who later reflected on the test with the haunting words, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." Despite scientific triumph, moral unease permeated the moment. Szilard and others had advocated for a demonstration to avoid direct civilian casualties, a plea that was ultimately ignored. Though much radioactive fallout dispersed upward, some descended on the Tularosa Basin. Ranchers reported abnormalities in livestock and rising disease rates. Declassified documents later revealed increased thyroid disorders and cancers among nearby populations. Consequences obscured for decades by secrecy and security concerns. Environmental contamination lingered, with radionuclides deposited across the desert sands. Trinitite fragments once casually collected are now protected artifacts of a nuclear legacy. Trinity's success accelerated the use of atomic weapons on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945, hastening the end of World War II. Yet it also inaugurated an era defined by nuclear arms races, strategic deterrence, and global anxiety. More than 1,000 nuclear tests would follow during the Cold War, detected worldwide by seismic networks, leading to treaties aimed at limiting nuclear detonations. Still, none matched Trinity's symbolic significance as the dawn of the atomic age. Beyond destruction, Trinity's legacy encompasses scientific and technological progress. The principles of nuclear fission underpin nuclear power generation and medical isotopes vital for cancer diagnosis and treatment. Modern particle physics owes methodological roots to instrumentation developed during the Manhattan Project. Yet the dual legacy of Trinity, immense power and profound ethical challenge, remains a solemn reminder. As humanity advances into new frontiers, from artificial intelligence to synthetic biology and climate engineering, the lessons of Trinity resonate still. Unchecked innovation, devoid of ethical foresight, risk consequences beyond our control. Conversely, responsible stewardship, informed by history, can direct transformative discoveries toward global benefit. The dawn of July 16, 1945, illuminated both promise and peril. The Trinity test stands as a testament to human ingenuity, a milestone in scientific precision, and a cautionary emblem of destructive potential. As we face the future, we must integrate technical mastery with moral responsibility to ensure that history's tragedies are never repeated. The sands of Jornada del Muerto whisper this imperative. Great power demands even greater wisdom. Thank you for joining us on this historical journey. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share your thoughts in the comments below, and subscribe for more captivating stories from our past. Until next time, keep exploring and stay curious.